question. What would your life, my life, what would our lives look like if we had more faith for miracles to occur? That's an interesting idea, isn't it? And yet, for the people who come from the LDS persuasion, we have been asked to take time and journal and write about what we would do, what would our lives look like, what would we do if we had more faith for miracles in our life. So today, that's what I want to talk about. This little video is going to attempt to assist all of us, and it's things that I'm working on, so it's great because when you learn something, it's good to actually learn something. You have to be able to share it with someone else, and that's a part of the process of growing, is sharing what you're learning. Anyway, and so this video is going to have ideas to explore, to assist us in stretching our soul even bigger and even more, because it to me, it seems like this is the time in history when this is supposed to happen. It's one of the next steps collectively of humanity if we're going to get through the times that are here right now and step into the future that's going to be great for all of us. But we get to work towards having more faith for miracles. I'm talking about specific faith so that we can have the miracles that we want in our lives. As I thought about this, I realized that for me, and there might be more, but I just thought that there's kind of three categories or outcomes for a miracle. For the first one, it's a desire for a specific situation to change. It's something that's unacceptable to the person, and they want that situation to change. So that's one of a miracle can happen when a situation changes. Another one is strength to get through a particular challenge. And that is also a miracle. And of course, there's miracles that happen every day just to breathe and live. And of course, that doesn't require any faith for that. I'm specifically talking about active faith and tools that we can use to step into that more. Then there's another one, and that is we can change our attitude towards a specific situation or a person. So those are the kind of three ones that set people up to want a miracle or to hope that a miracle can occur in their life. Those three situations. Something is unacceptable, a desire to get through a situation, to be able to manage it, to get through it. And a lot of times that requires a miracle to be able to do that. There's been really hard situations that people go through, and the help they receive going through them is, in fact, a miracle. And the other one is a change in attitude. And of course, that would most likely be that you develop a spirit of charity, or you get the gift of charity to see a person or a situation in a different way. And so that's also a miracle too. This saying is in our office, and I love it. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. This is a very, very powerful tool. Sometimes that's the miracle that we need, is to change the way we look at a person. Maybe that's what God has intended for that situation, is not for the person to change, but for you to see that person in a new way through the eyes of his love, like he does. I don't know, but this is a powerful saying. The first thing I thought of in that is find a happy place, your happy spot, a sacred place. So this spot right here is my sacred place, and I'll put a little clip on to explain that. This is what I call my sacred spot. This is the place that I like to go. It's first off, it's my father's chair, and I love that that connection with him. And it's in a quiet place in my house, away from noise and distractions. And I love this little lamp that I got by the side of it, and it has a little place where you can put books. And right here, this drawer here is great because this is where I can put papers and stuff like that so that I can work and write and ponder and do the things I want. All right. So the next thing is, after you find a space that's quiet so you can reflect and ponder and listen and write down, you can ask for, you don't always have to kneel at your bed and pray. You can walk around praying. You can sit in a chair and ask for guidance and write and get your journal and write. And today I actually, because I'm working on 4 specific things that I would like to have happen in my life. And so I went to Walmart today, and guess what? There are these 3 books. They were in a package. Oh, well, where's the other one? Okay, so they're in a package. Not by my strength, but his. Be still. And then this one, Faith Can Move Mountains. That's what this little video is about. Faith to move the mountains of the challenges in your life. And so I had started writing some of the challenges that I have in this journal here, but it's an old one. And so I wanted a fresh one. So I'm going to transfer that over, and I have a fresh journal, Faith to Move Mountains now, that I'm going to keep in this spot here and work on the things that I want to work on. So find a journal that speaks to you. A journal that has a specific wording or the color you like. Find a specific journal for what you want to work on. And then the next is to think about, what is it? So in order, as President Nelson, so let me get a little spot. This is the recent talk by President Nelson. Faith, Christ is risen, faith in him will move mountains. And some of the concepts that I'm talking about today are from that talk. It's a very good talk. Even if you aren't a member of that particular religion, it has a lot of good concepts and a lot of good ideas that you might find valuable. And you can pick up that at Deseret Book or maybe Siegel Book, or look it up online. But it has a lot of references and a lot of good ideas and that you might enjoy. And I actually found a lot that I have been utilizing. Okay, and so you find a journal, and then you find a time that I like to in the mornings. Of course, right now at this particular time, I'm not going to a job. I'm doing little things for people with videos right now and stuff like that. But I'm not going to a job every day. So I'm more flexible right now in my life. So I can find the time in the morning. That's the best time for me to be grounded, to find space to listen and to write and to ponder and do everything that I need to do for what I want to occur in my life. And sometimes people have, maybe they have their mountains. The mountains that they're climbing is a mountain of fear, of crippling fear. A lot of people have that nowadays for their health and the health of others. And loneliness is also one that people struggle with. Finances, health. There can be any number of issues that people struggle with that they want to utilize faith to be able to do one of those 3 things. Get through it, see it in a new way, or have the situation absolved. So once you determine what it is that is your next step, we all have a next step. Like, I used to teach preschool, and you kind of know, they know this and this is their next step to get ready for kindergarten and for life. And so we also have a next step. And sometimes we're on a plateau for a while, and you'll feel it if you don't distract yourself with everything else. And you can even be so busy helping everyone else that your own journey is somewhat distracted, and you're not really focusing on the next step for you. And helping is good, but there's also time for quiet reflection to find out what your next step is. And I got this right here. I made this book a few years ago. I like this scripture. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall walk and not be weary. They shall run and not faint, from Isaiah. And so what I've done in here in this book is I have found scriptures that I like, and I put them to some beautiful, some different pages, so that I can actually look through here and find particular scriptures that are some of my favorites. And I found some pretty, my mom, after she passed, my sister found these neat pages that she had. And so I like to put specific scriptures there that I can ponder and relate. So once you determine what you want to work on, here's another idea, and that is to get a scripture or a mantra. Or there are people who are listening who may not be particularly religious. They may just believe in a higher power, and that's good. Then find some person that you trust, and get some ideas from them, and put it in your mind and have it so you can think about it and ponder about it as you drive, as you go places, as you do things. Some of my favorite ones are trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not into thine own understanding. You know, that one is a really one that I like. I can do all things through Christ who strengtheneth me. I love that one and use it a lot in my life. And I just barely, a month or so ago, I had a song come to me that I haven't thought of for years, and it's called Faith in Every Footstep. And that's particularly valuable in the situation that I'm dealing with, some arthritis. And so, for example, so then that song, maybe you'll find a song that you really love, and you get that song and you play it a lot. As you're driving, you can play it. There's a lot of music out there that is not particularly religious or anything like that, but there's a lot of good modern music that has wonderful concepts and that are very uplifting and that would benefit you or us in our journey for miracles to take place in our life. So having that environment, having the tools around you, and then a mantra, a phrase that you repeat a lot. And if it's with music, even the better, because this is a feeling universe. And so we want to put out there good, happy thoughts and feelings of what we want to attract and the miracles that we want to have in our life. So in your journal, when you have your journal, I have pondered, what is my next step? And I write it down, and I write down what it is, and I listen. So what can I do now? What can I eliminate? What can I do now for the next step for what I want to create? Because we're meant to be creators. We're meant to be creators. Let me see if this works better. I am having a lot of problem with glare today. It doesn't matter if my blinds are up or down or the lights. Oh well, we've got a lot of light coming in today. And so listen and act. So the thing is that for our faith to grow, we have to have something for it to grow towards. So pick something that is a little bit of a stretch, it's a little bit of a challenge. It's going to require more faith on your part because we're in that step. I think that for society, to have the miracles that we need in our lives and for the future, a lot of people are going to have to join together in a miracle mindset. And I really do believe that. But so there's a lot of ways that people do that and step into different mantras or different things that are uplifting to them. So make it fun. See this, instead of it's like a do or die, it's just heavy, and make it lighthearted, make it fun. Make it so that it's like, wow, I'm on an adventure. Didn't someone a while ago talk about adventures? Life is an adventure, and see life as an adventure. Say, hey, I'm on the next adventure, and this is what. And then you really need to put your faith towards it and your efforts and your energy. It isn't, utilizing faith is, it's easy to get distracted. And so you have to really put some effort and energy if you want to have the things that you're working on. Anyway, I want to show you what I have. So on my dresser here, I did that about a year ago when I was at the store every day buying different sweets. Every day after work, I would do it. And on Saturday, I would go to the store and look around, and I'd buy extra and would eat desserts at night. So a year later, I still not doing that. I still love dark chocolate. It's like my favorite food, but I don't have to buy it. I don't have to have it. And that's a big difference. It's wonderful. I would have loved to have just lost, tons of weight, 50, 60 pounds just from that, but it looks like that's not it. So I have another step. We always get another step to grow forward. But I want to share with you what's on my dresser, because for me, it's helpful. So this is my dresser right now. So on my dresser, I have, these are not things that I'm praying for. Like, I don't pray to my mom and dad. I don't pray, these are just symbols and things that are important to me that help build faith. And so I have the brother of Jared, the story about the brother of Jared. It's very, very powerful. There are a lot of scriptures, especially in the Book of Mormon, that talk about faith and how miracles occurred because of the faith people had. So I love that. I also love the Constitution. I love the blessing here, the two unknown. And so what we have here is Jeff's parents. So I'm mindful that my parents and my family on the other side are part of this journey. I'll talk about that sometime, but you actually have a team in heaven. So we have Christ and we have the tree of life here, this wonderful depiction of that. So these are, and I have a candle up there. So when I walk through in the mornings, and I'm here in the mornings, I look at this. And when I'm laying in bed, stretching my legs out and my knees, then I look over here at these symbols. And I like these too. I don't know if you can see them. Mouse spirit and swan spirit. They're cards that some people use, and they're also beneficial. All right, I'm finishing up here. So the little cards, the animal, I don't know what they're called, but they have a lot of different animals, and you pick one for the present moment, one for the future, and one for the recent past. And you look at them and they give you insight. And I really believe that God works through all kinds of means. I absolutely do. He is a loving God, and some people call him source or the divine center, or they call, there's lots of names. There's lots of, but for me, I know that he works through, and the Book of Mormon also says that he speaks to all nations, kindreds, tongues, and gives them what he wants them to hear. Isn't that interesting? And so there are people and I know of people who have had some bad, some very detrimental situations, even to their health, to be involved in certain religious communities. And so they're still looking for a way for guidance. And those little cards that I just showed you, Jenny did some with us a little bit ago, and it was really interesting. So I picked Mouse Spirit. You know what that is? To listen carefully. To listen carefully and pay attention to small details. Did you know that was so needful for me? Because I was being bothered by the clutter in my life, and I was trying to pretend it didn't matter. So when I sat and listened to this little mouse spirit card, I really got, wow, I need to pay attention to details because they bother me. And then the other one, the swan one, dive deep. In my life with some things I'm working on, it requires me to look deep within and to soul search and to really look deep within. So those were very beneficial to me. And people use whatever they can to move forward. And there's a lot of, sometimes religious people can be very, I don't know how to put it in a good way, but they can be very rude And religions can also be very heavy and hard for a lot of people who don't fit in the mold. And so they also need to find a way to move forward. And there are lots of ways for people to grow and develop and continue growing in this life. Anyway, so that's my little thing today about miracles in your life. So start writing if you want to. You don't have to. I mean, it's an adventure. Start writing. Find a happy space and let the miracles begin. Thanks for listening.